and then make your crazy makeup face so you can get under your eyes like, like that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here. So for this week's episode, I am gonna teach you how I do my makeup every day. I like to use a combination of higher end products and drugstore products. I feel like you get as good of results if you are using them properly. Doesn't really matter how much you spend on something. I also use pretty much all makeup brushes by Morphe. I love their brushes. The price point of them is not super high, but the quality is high, and that's very important. First thing we're gonna do is we are gonna prep our face. Sunscreen is very important. I use Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Recovery SPF 50. Moisturize. Make sure you get your neck. Second thing is we're gonna go in with some foundation. I swear by It Cosmetics CC cream. It is full coverage, color correcting CC cream. It feels great. It is super smooth. It doesn't feel cakey. It doesn't feel too heavy on your skin, but it's gonna give you really nice coverage. I have dark spots. I have dark circles, which I hate, but this covers them up, so it's kind of nice. Right now I'm between colors because we are between seasons. So I'm gonna use a little bit of their medium and then add in just a little bit of their tan. I love this product because it is a pump, which is great. So I pump just a little bit and I rub it in. There we go. Dab, dab, dab. Then I'm gonna use just a little bit of the tan right in the middle. Then I'm gonna come in with my Morphe flat foundation brush, and we're just gonna buff this into our skin. This brush is so soft and it blends so nicely. Make sure you get your neck because you don't want to have a line. And I lightly go over my eyes and under my eyes. And then for the top, I try not to put too much on my eyebrows because I hate that look whenever there's like foundation caked on top of your eyebrows and then it makes it look, I don't know, it just doesn't look good. And just buff it into your hairline as well, so all of that is blended really nicely. You can bring it down real far too. If your neck's looking a little pale like mine is, bring it down. I also kind of like tap it into my skin too. It kind of like mushes it in and blends it really nicely. Gives you really good coverage. See? Those dark spots are pretty much covered up so far. The next thing I do is I use a concealer. This one is by Morphe, and their color on this one is, they're 2.45. Like I said, I have dark circles, so I go with something that has a little bit more of an orange undertone. So if you think about the color wheel, the opposite of purple is yellow, and the opposite of blue, which is what mine tend to look like, is orange. So by using something that's like an orange-yellow base, it will counteract a lot of those dark circles. So what I do is I just kind of dab a couple of, just like a little bit right there. Dab, dab, dab. And then I take, this is actually technically a foundation brush by It Cosmetics, but it's one of their really small ones, and I really like it for my concealer under my eyes. It's also very, very soft, and it buffs it in really nicely. So what I do here is I just dab, 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 dab. So we're just tapping until it is fully blended. And I start at my cheekbone here and tap, 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 tap. And excuse my ridiculous makeup making faces, because y'all, we all make them. Nobody looks cute while they're putting their makeup on, but you will look cute when you're done. So we are just tapping and dabbing it on. And then I'll take that same brush because it has some of the product still on the brush, and I just dab it a little bit in the crease right here, my nose crease, and a little bit on the creases around my mouth. Look at that coverage, see? Looks very nice, really natural, not too cakey, but just a nice coverage. The next thing I do is I swear by this blush. I use Nars, and I use their Orgasm. That's what it's called. There it is. When you open it up, it looks super pink and like real shimmery. But when you put it on, I feel like it's really pretty on most skin tones. I'm using my Morphe angled blush brush. So we're just gonna tap that in there. And then to the other side here. Like I said, I like blush, guys. It gives you some color, makes you look like you've been hanging out in the sun for a little while, got little rosy cheeks. The next step on our makeup journey is our highlighter. This is my #1 favorite highlighter. I use it every single day of my life. Even if I don't have a lot of makeup on, I still use some highlighter because it just gives you that glow. And I use Becca Opal. This stuff is my jam. As you can tell, it's like almost gone. This stuff is like the holy grail of highlighter. So what I use is my lovely Morphe fan brush. Get it all up in there, and we're just gonna hit right where the sun would hit your cheekbone. Ah, look at that. Looking good. And then I take just a little bit on the bridge of my nose. The point of a highlighter is you hit the parts where the sun would hit. So like if you were standing outside on a really sunny day and you're kind of sweating a little bit, and where you would naturally glisten, that's where you want your highlighter to go. The next thing we're gonna do, which is my favorite thing we're going to do, even if I don't wear any makeup, or if I'm only like running out for some errands or something, I kind of always fill in my eyebrows. I'm kind of like an eyebrow snob. I like them thick. I like them a little bit organic looking, I guess would be the nice word for it, because I don't like them to be like too perfectly in place. Does that make sense? I like for them to look thick. I like for them to look dark, but I don't like for them to look like too lined. So the eyebrow pencil that I use, honestly, the label is rubbed off. So it's either by NYX or it's by e.l.f. I'm not exactly sure, but I love it. It's in dark brown. It's more of a crayon, so like it twists up here. It's very soft, comes right out. You don't have to like really try to push hard on there. So I brush them up and out. I make sure I don't have like a lot of foundation caked up around it. And then I start at the bottom here, okay? And I use really short brush strokes, so it kind of resembles what natural brows do. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start right here, and we're just gonna give a nice brush stroke on the bottom and go all the way up, following the shape of your natural brow. See? Can already see it coming to life. So we do the bottom, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the top. Just see how I'm just etching it on there. Little brush strokes there, and then down. So you can see it's outlined now. See the difference already? So the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go in and fill it in. But don't fill it in. We're still gonna continue on with these nice little brush strokes. So I start here, or brush, yeah, brush strokes, not breast strokes, we're not swimming. Brush strokes. So we're going to lightly brush it up. So when I say that I like it to still look organic, I like to still see the hair, you know? Like I like that you can see that I have an eyebrow already, but then it's just filled in some to make it pop. So then you have to make sure you keep it really light right here. And then if you get like a little too thick right there, like I just did, flip it over and just brush it up to kind of blend it in. So then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. This eyebrow is not as good as this eyebrow. I have a hole right here. No hair grows. See, they still look nice and natural, but they just pop a little bit more. The next thing we're gonna do is just a little bit of eyeshadow. I also love this palette by Morphe. It is their Bronzed Babe 9B. These are my go-to colors. I have blue eyes, tan skin, and I have dark hair. Warm gold tones look really good on blue eyes. This is what we're gonna use. And I love the shimmer. Give me all the shimmer. So the first thing I am going to do is also with my Morphe brush. I use this one. It's kind of like a smaller, like fluffy brush. So I'm gonna use just a really kind of champagne color right here with some shimmer, a little champagne shimmer. Tap it off. And we're gonna highlight our brow bone. And then I take that color and I also bring it down into the inner corner of my eye. By doing that, it just allows it just to pop a little bit, opens up your eyes. Same thing on the other eye. Next step is we're gonna do our crease. So the crease of our eye right here. I use this brush, it is by Sigma. It is their medium angled brush. You can see here it's angled, it's that thickness. I am gonna use this color right here called Now Boarding. It's like a medium mid color just to give you a really nice crease. Tap it and then tap it off to remove any excess. And what you're gonna do is just tap it in your crease. See? And the key is to be really light with it. But it looks really dark and really crazy, but that's okay because we're gonna blend it in a minute. So we're gonna do the other eye. See, have both of our creases done. And then I take this brush. This one is by Sonia Kashuk, I believe. You can find them at Target. I like it. There's two ends. This one is more of a blending side. This one is more of a precision side. So we're now gonna do our outer crease. And with that, I'm gonna go just a little bit darker and I'm gonna add in a little bit of shimmer. So I'm gonna use this color down here. It's called Faux Real. We're gonna tap it, get the excess off. And I like to do here a little bit of like a V shape. So you do the V down here at your lash line and then you bring it up to connect the crease and your lash line. We go lash line and then I kind of take it and like kind of swirl it in, if that makes sense, and then connect to your crease. Swirl, connect. See there? And then do the same thing on the other side. Swirl, connect. So now we have our brow bone done. We have our crease done and we have our outer corner done. Now we need to do our lid and then we're gonna blend it all together. So for the lid, I like to use this brush right here. It is also by Morphe. I think that's upside down. By Morphe. And it's a little bit more of a dense brush. I would tell you guys what these brushes are called, but they don't have names. So it's a little bit more of a flat, dense brush. And I'm gonna go in with that same color that I used on my brow bone and on the inner corner, but I'm gonna just make it a little bit heavier, but then tapping it off. And so here, what we're gonna do is just tap right on your lid. Here, tapping, tapping, tapping. As you can tell, I do a lot of tapping. By doing that, it really gets it into your skin. Instead of like doing like a lot of like sweeping and like really being really hard with it, by tapping it in, it's keeping it really light, you know, not too heavy handed, but you're covering a lot of ground. Okay, you can see. Now we're gonna blend. And with that, I use my blender brush, which is nice and fluffy. This one's also by Sonia Kashuk, I believe. I hope I'm saying that right, but you can get them at Target. They're cheap, I like them. So with this, I'm gonna use this mid color called Hang 10. It's a nice blending color. And I'm gonna swirl that on there and then make sure you tap all of that excess off. And then we're gonna blend all of these colors together. So I start on the crease here, and then I'll kind of like take my finger and kind of soften that out. See? It's looking way more blended now. So if you felt like you had like a little bit too much of a harsh line, this step is what softens that harsh line. And this is when you do use more of a sweeping motion because you have very little product on your brush and you're doing a sweeping motion to blend it in. So then we'll do the same thing on this side here. And I'm really light-handed. I'm not like pushing into my skin like just real light. There we go. And then make sure we're blended. Looking good. So then the next step is we're gonna do a little bit of liner. A lot of times I don't use a pencil liner or a liquid liner. I will use my eyeshadow and I will use flat, dense brush like this one here. So I just wet the tip of my brush. And I am gonna go in with this kind of like medium brown color, and this color is called Beach Please. So I'm just adding a little bit in there and then like tapping it off as well. Like I said, I'm just gonna do a little bit of liner underneath, and I kind of like it to be soft and smudgy. So tap that off and then make your crazy makeup face so you can get under your eyes like, like that. And you're gonna go right at your lash line, really close. See there? And then do the same thing on the other eye. Then the next thing I will do is I will take my pinky finger, make sure you don't have anything on them, make sure they're clean, and I will just kind of smudge that in really, really lightly. Next step before we apply mascara is I make sure I don't have any creases under my eyes with my concealer. Y'all, I'm getting a little bit older, so I'm starting to get some wrinkles, so I crease a little bit more. So just tap in there to make sure it's not creased. Then the second to last step on our makeup journey today is mascara. I swear by this mascara. It is by Loreal. It is their Voluminous. Voluminous? Voluminous? Voluminous. It's voluminous. Voluminous Lash Paradise. Okay, this stuff is my jam. It is very inexpensive. I get it at Target and I buy it in Very Black. I start on the top of this one and hold my lid up right here. So I hold up that and apply our mascara. There we go. And the next eye. And then we're gonna do our bottom lashes. I tilt my head like this, and then I put it on the bottom. It's okay. And then the final step is a little lipstick. This is by Morphe. As you guys can tell, I love Morphe. It's very affordable. It's sold at Ulta, and it is a super great product. This color is called Schoolgirl. I love this lipstick. It is matte. It goes on very smooth and velvety and silky. It stays all day long. This color is kind of like a nude pinky mauve. I love this color. I wear it like 99% of the time. I'm not gonna line my lips. We're just gonna put it on. As you can see, it's going on very smooth. And the top. And there we have it. Lipstick, nice little fresh glow. So like I said, this is my everyday go-to makeup look. So I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye guys.